So I had a little bit more to say about um, shoulder bridge. I think there's some real challenges in the position for someone whose shoulders and wrists, and usually if someone has wrist issues, then they have shoulder issues and neck issues as well. Issues meaning pain, complaint, injury, etc. That tissue's tight. It's not uniformly balanced. Yeah. Anyway, so, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't do the exercise. It means we should find a way to do it that doesn't cause harm. And one of the ways is to do the exercise on a barrel so that you have that support. However, when you do it on the barrel, it's great, except for it doesn't ask you to address the reason why you can't do it on the mat anyway. So I would like to play a little bit with just a simple idea of if we get our feet elevated, so it doesn't have to be a spine corrector, could be a baby barrel, an arc barrel. It could be a short box. It could be even just enough of a change by putting one block. That might be enough to alleviate your hands. We can make tiny changes in our body that will allow us to have access to opening the tissue, the joints, the body in a way that doesn't cause harm and gives us a venue or a direction in which we could go further and eventually not need a lift at all. So that was a lot of words, but we're really not trying to say this is contraindicated. And again, these are all my opinions, my experiences, and I think that every time I am told that something is bad for me, I want to ask for what reasons and then critically think through that. That's all. So if we're talking about shoulder bridge, then what if instead of having our legs on the ground, going up and finding a position that's quite challenging on the wrists and on the shoulders if someone doesn't have access to the range at the arm and the rib cage, or the range, 90-degree range at the wrist, all right? When we do bicycle, it's turned and it's not necessary for it to be a full 90-degree bend at the wrist. It's a little bit more of an angle as needed. You have a little bit more freedom with that. However, if you're doing shoulder bridge, there's not much room for shifting it if you leave your feet on the floor at the same level as your head and shoulders. But if I go into a back press and my feet are higher and I reach the knees, I have very little weight in my wrists, and I can decide if I want to weight it and stretch my wrists and thumbs, or if I want to unweight it. So I'm getting I have control over that now. And then I can go into the movement, reaching the heel, stretching. I get the same activation in the back of the leg. And I have so much more control over what is going on in my wrists. And I can then get the benefit of the opening of the shoulder joint and the chest and the spine and the front of the body without compromising the joint itself. I'm never trying to close the joint. I'm trying to open the joint. And I would say that this is also a great place for the very next step in jackknife, which would be to reach and find the roll here with the legs a little bit higher so that you're even more prepared to go into the full expression of that movement as well. So always wonder if there isn't a way for you to quote, dip your toe in the water, unquote, instead of dive into the deep end and decide it is a bad idea, that it's not good for you. So I hope that helps. Be well. Hope to see you again sometime very soon in the future.